If you have questions, concerns, and are just lost when it comes to planning for retirement, meet Steve Hoyle and Derrick Caldwell of the Hoyle Financial Group. I recently watched a video of a financial advisor from Charles Schwab with 3 tips to retire in a volatile market. He says, number 1, don't sell in a down market. Number 2, cut back on your spending. And number 3, consider a part-time job. Now, here's the deal. I'm on board with 2 of the 3 items there, but if I'm having to go look for a part-time job, Derrick, and you're my financial advisor, I'm going to look at you and go, did you do your job? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I'd say if any of those 3, guys, if you've heard that before, you're with a passive advisor, guys. This is somebody who has a long buy and hold strategy and is going to tell you that, hey, just hold on to your money. That's his whole theory, right? Is just hold on to your money. The market's going to come back. You're going to be fine. Everything. The question is how long. And if you ask him that, he's not going to be able to tell you. The portfolio that you're in and how you're allocated and your investment retirement life should not be dependent on that. If it is, you're in the wrong place, hands down. There is no reason that you should have to go through any of these things. I would lose my heart if I told somebody, hey, maybe you should think about a part-time job 6 years after I tell you, hey, yeah, let's retire. Let's get on the road there. I mean, that's terrible. And it comes down to there's active management on portfolios. So that goes to number 1 when you said don't sell in a down market. There is always opportunity in the market. So, yeah, when you say don't sell, don't sell everything you have and put it into cash. But what if you have a specific industry that's being hammered, i.e. oil and gas lately? So maybe you shift some money out of oil and gas into, tech sector or retail or, that's active management of your portfolio. And that's what we do at Hoyle Financial, because you can't just sit on the sidelines and wait for your money to rebuild and you're eating beanie weenies at home, guys. No. It should always be something that you're shifting your resources around to, once again, maximize what you have. You can't, I do that even with bank assets, guys. Don't sit there and accept 0.5% or 1% from your bank. Even your money that's sitting across the street at the bank should be maximized to get the highest return possible, because it's about working smarter, not harder. Guys, you've worked your entire life. Come on, make your money work for you so you can turn off the TV and not care about all that.
Get this. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, over 10,000 baby boomers turn 65 every single day. So that means they're making decisions right now about things like Medicare and Social Security. Here's Jill Schlesinger and Teresa Giudici on CBS Mornings.
There's been a 13% jump this year in people claiming retirement benefits early, despite permanently reduced payouts. Would that then argue that you should claim Social Security early?
Because No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Wait for the maximum benefit. Don't haircut yourself now, anticipating it will be cut later.
All right, good advice there. But, like I said, lots of folks are making decisions right now about when to claim Social Security, and they're basing it on fear, whether is the money going to be there when I need it? Is Social Security going to be there at all? What should the decision really be based on?
Well, I definitely say fear should not be one of them. And that's something where, guys, Social Security might look different 10 years from now. And it probably will in some way, shape, or form. But people who are getting Social Security are the ones voting. So if you don't want to have a job and you work in Congress, cut Social Security. Tell you right now, you'll be out of a job real quick. So there's going to be something that'll change, and we'll have to kind of roll with the punches and maybe allocate it, a little bit differently. But when you look at your portfolio as a whole, that's one of the things you want to look at. But look at your income too. Is it worth waiting? And if you do wait on Social Security, what's your alternative? Do you have enough assets to replace that income, to meet your lifestyle and everything? Those are the things that really go into a lot of the details on ages, because, she says 67, right? Full retirement age. She's telling you to wait till 67. Most of the math, and when I tell you numbers don't lie, guys, most of the math, if you are retired, which means you're not going to go back to work or anything, generally that's between 64 and 67. So I'm one of those that, hey, if it makes sense math-wise and everything, and I tell everybody just the same thing when that's that first question they roll off a lot of times about Social Security. And I'm like, guys, if I knew when you were going to die, my job would be super easy. but it isn't. I got to make sure that you're good till 90, 95 years old. So let's look at your Social Security. We also look at longevity in your family too. Hey, that's something, it's not exact science, but let's look at it. If you have a mom who's 103 years old, man, we got a plan for longevity there, but we look at alternatives. We look at long-term care too. Where are you going to, if you need long-term care, where are you going to get that money from, right? And one thing about Social Security that a lot of people forget too, it's not like you lose the money. So in other words, if you take it and you blow it all, then it's gone. But another strategy is you take Social Security. Maybe you take it a little bit earlier. Maybe we invest that money, right? Instead of just taking it and spending it. Maybe you don't need it right now, but it fits your lifestyle. It helps you with income, but maybe you want to invest it. You can do that as well. You can use it to pay off debt. There's a lot of things where Social Security can be a tool earlier than 67, but you got to know a lot of things about your lifestyle, keeping budgeting. I know the big B word, right, that everybody hates. But it's all about putting your money that's really where it is, like really important to you. That's all budgeting is. It's not cutting you back and you can't see your grandkids or anything like that. It is all about putting your money where it's important to you, where your mouth is, so to speak, right? What you say is important to you. Yeah, budgeting just means putting your money where your mouth is, right? Where you think is important, what you tell everybody that is important in your life, it's putting money aside for that. If you want to travel, if you want to see your grandkids and everything, great. But we're going to focus on that. We're going to plan for trips during the year and things like that, where you can put your money where it's important to you. That's all budgeting is, guys. It's not a scary thing. It's not like, hey, I'm your financial advisor that's going to sit here and tell you where to spend your money and what to do. No, you're telling me where you're spending your money. So I can make sure that your retirement is what you want it to be. And Social Security is a big part of that, but it's all where the numbers match up. You know, the alternatives, what are you going to do for income, things like that? Because at 62, the math is not in your favor if you take Social Security, guys. I mean, you really have to have the income at that point, but eventually between Medicare costs increases as well as just inflation, it's going to start to eat away at you. So it has to be a part of your plan, and it has to be something that we run through our Social Security Analyzer software, and we really focus on that. And because that's just one piece of the pie, but it is very important, one of them. So what are your alternatives, guys? If you're going to wait for Social Security or you're going to take it early, because either way, you have to have an alternative. If you take it late and you wait, what are you going to do for income now? If you take it early, what are you going to do for income 10, 20 years from now? Either way, there's nothing that's a free ride. There's always a drawback, whether it's an investment, a strategy, Social Security, anything like that. There is a drawback down the road, so you got to plan for that.
And what you're saying is this analyzer that you use, basically a Social Security optimization report, is that going to help basically lay out with your other assets, all these other puzzle pieces, creating your retirement, dream? It's going to tell you when the best time to take Social Security is. Am I reading you right there?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that everybody wants to see. And I put pen to paper kind of thing, and it's about what the alternatives are. So, and it's really an income plan too, Jess, when we talked about income planning earlier, that's a big part of it. Hey, we're going to wait till 66. That's the best time for you to take Social Security. So this is what we're going to do from 64 to 66. We're going to take it from your, old 401k assets. We're going to take it from your annuity that has lifetime income. We're going to plan for that so you know exactly what buckets of money are going to kick on at what time, and to maximize, once again, what you have. Because we can't just pull the trigger on things and hope for the best. Hope is not a plan.
Yeah, retirement is not a hope-so plan. You want it to be a no-so plan.
And if y'all want to have your Social Security looked at and optimized for your best benefit there, give us a call, because we'll tell you that the best time to take your Social Security, so you can take that one off the table in retirement, that hey, Derrick told me 66, and that's what people want right there. Give us a call today, and we will optimize your Social Security to give you the best benefit possible.
A recent article from Bankrate.com called the Roth IRA the MVP of retirement savings. It talked about the after-tax contributions and tax-free withdrawals. However, the Roth has limitations. The amount you can contribute declines, and it's eventually just eliminated at a certain level of income. And the money has to sit there for 5 years before you can access it. So, Derrick, how can you work around these limitations and make a Roth the retirement MVP?
Yeah, it goes with proper planning. This is something with that 5-year window with Roth, guys, that everybody needs to be aware of, and the tax consequences when you do conversions and things like that. But one of the most effective strategies there is just obviously doing Roth conversions. And guys, that's where you take your IRA or 401k money, you pay the taxes right now, right? And you then put those funds into a Roth. So it's just kind of a Roth conversion rollover, for instance. And then after that 5-year period, everything that's earned up until from day one up until then, or 20 years in the future, is all tax-free. It's also something that can be inherited tax-free as well. So when we look at Roth conversions and Roth IRAs and everything like that, tax-free sounds super excellent, right? Everybody's like, yeah, I want that tax-free money, right? If I would tell you if I went pre-tax or tax-free, right, you're going to say tax-free. But you have to understand that you're paying those taxes up front. And what we're looking at when we do the calculations on that is if taxes go up, which if you're a betting person, you're going to put that in the future, taxes are going to go up. We just saw this big, beautiful bill. Am I saying that right? Just that.
The big, beautiful bill that President Trump is, going to sign in, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, say that 10 times fast, right? It's could have gone with a better word, but anyway. So yeah, there's some great things in there, but it's going to cost. It's going to add to our deficit clearly.
And how do we pay for the deficit? Everybody, say it with me.
Yeah, raise
taxes.
Your hand. Yeah. Yep, raise it because you're the one paying it. So the money has to come from somewhere. So once again, taxes are going to at some point go up. So we're going to take that and maximize it by maybe doing some conversions now. But we're also going to help your beneficiaries, guys, because maybe you're 70, maybe you're 75, and you're sitting here going, I don't know if I have 5 years, and I hope you do and everything, but that's a fact of life that's the one thing, right? Taxes and death are the guarantees. But how about converting those funds at your, say, 12 or 15% taxes versus your kids' 30 or 40%? Right. So if, in other words, maybe you take the hit now, but when you pass away, your kids get to inherit that tax free versus paying a much higher tax rate. Because I don't care who you are, what stage of life you're in, or anything. I think we all have one thing in common is we do not want the government to get any more of our money than they already have.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we go our whole life paying taxes and everything. It's everywhere. Even when you're 16, the first part-time job, you get that check and bam, hit you in the face that you didn't earn a lot of money.
That's right. Uncle Sam's there with his hand out. Yeah.
So these Roth conversions can be a huge MVP, and these Roth funds and everything, but they have to be done in a very specific way. And we calculate that all for you. And generally, it's a 5 to 10 year plan, guys, because that's the most efficient. I remember years ago, still remember this to this day. I mean, it must have been 20 years ago at the bank.
Yeah.
I had a guy who converted his funds $400,000 just at one time.
Wow. Yeah. I feel like, what?
Yeah, at that time, he paid 48% tax. They literally took almost half of it. His reasoning was, I want the government out of my money. I don't want to owe him anything. I want to be done. Yeah. And hopefully, 20 years later, that worked out for him and everything. But it takes a long time to recover from that. And it also goes to how you invest them. So if you're a CD person and you're going to take those funds and put it in a CD Roth or a fixed account, a money market, and you're getting 3%, mathematically, guys, you will be passed away long before you earn that money back that you pay in taxes. So that's also something you have to think about is how are you going to invest that? In the market, obviously, highest risk, highest reward, but you can gain that tax money back. And in the future, it will hopefully pay out huge for you on tax-free money. But so in other words, how much you do conversions for or how much you put into a Roth IRA are very important. How you invest it, what's your time frame for needing those funds? Because as you mentioned, right, Jess, limitations, right? Sure. If you take it out within that 5-year period, you didn't do anything. I mean, you're paying taxes twice, really, when capital gains and everything. So there's a lot of different things there that we look at for Roths, but they can be. And I urge anybody who's 20, 30 years old to have a Roth IRA, to put money aside. If you have your 401k, ask your 401k company too. Do you have a Roth option? Because you can contribute to that every year. And I promise you, 20, 30 years down the road, it'll be a fantastic tool for you. But since we're mostly talking about retirees and everything, it's a lot more complicated with that, just like anything with retirees, right? Medicare, anything like that, right? It's not easy. And that's why somebody partners with me on these things, because you're very good at what you do at your job, and so am I. Right? If I need a plumber to do something in my house, I don't do it and hope for the best. I call a plumber to get it done. And that's what you're doing when you call us today. You're getting somebody with years and years of experience in doing the retirement game for you.
If you'd like to sit down with Steve and Derrick or a member of the Hoyle Financial Group, visit retiretexasstyle.com.
Investment advice offered through Hoyle Wealth Management, a Texas-registered investment advisor able to provide investment advice in states where it's registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided is obtained from sources believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Steve Hoyle, Texas Insurance License 716036. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Hoyle is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Hoyle is licensed in your state, please call 806-371-9473.